Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review for tonight's Face the Lads, which is on a Thursday. It should be on a Friday, but we're doing a different way around today because Alex's wife is coming into the country today, so he'll be back tomorrow to do the Fulham preview with us. So we've got regular Friday night guest on a Thursday night, which is Jimmy, who is starting to morph into Roy Caviani, as you can see with the beard. Yeah, it's great to have Jimmy with us. Roy's going to try and get on a bit later. He's busy at the Asian Cup at the moment over there. So he's going to try and jump on. But if you do enjoy tonight's show, as usual, guys, please do hit that thumbs up button for us. If you're new, click the bottom right-hand corner, click subscribe, come and be part of this amazing community. It is free to do so. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, which will also let you know when we upload our videos or we schedule in the live shows. And of course, you can donate to the channel tonight if you do so wish by hitting that $sign at the bottom of the live comments. That will guarantee your comment to be read out as well. And don't forget, you can become a member of the Toon Review by clicking the join button just underneath us. And that will help the channel that way as well, of course, as well as having some brilliant prizes coming up in the next couple of weeks for our members. Good evening, Chapelatas.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Just a little bit of news for everybody. Newcastle United have today let 3 of the academy players leave the club. Defender Remy Savage has gone to Inverness Caledonian Thistle on a permanent deal, linking up with, of course, former Newcastle man Duncan Ferguson, who is manager up there. Striker Dylan Stevenson has gone out on loan to South Shields for the rest of the season. So we wish Dylan all the very best. And Cameron Ferguson, who is, of course, son of Duncan Ferguson, has left the club by mutual agreement. So 3 of our academy players gone. Billy, what do you make of that?
Maybe they're just clearing the decks for new people to come in. Of course, we've already kind of signed Alfie Howson from City, haven't we? So maybe they've got more in the fire, more irons in the fire. Cameron Ferguson, I imagine, will go back to Inverness Caledonia, won't he? He'll go there on a fully fledged transfer, I reckon.
Yeah.
With his dad. So just see how things go. But Remy Savage hasn't really impressed when he's played, has he? Doesn't look like he's going to make the step up. He's getting on a little bit now for youth team age.
I remember watching the friendlies, Billy, with you. You know, we did the watch-alongs for the friendlies earlier on in the season. It's basically, we weren't that impressed with Remy when he was given opportunities to come on.
No, he didn't show the maturity or the calmness of, say, Alex Murphy, for instance, who obviously is younger. The Dylan Stevenson one is a bit surprising because I thought maybe he might have ended up getting a bit of first-team football, but maybe he's going to get regular first-team football with proper adults at South Shields. I know it's a much lower level, but, a few goals there, boosts his confidence and see what happens next season.
I hope Dylan Stevenson does well, scores a few goals, and, he's a talented striker. Now, Jimmy, we had a brief conversation earlier on today, and you were asking the question of what the hell is going on at Newcastle United right now. That I simply cannot answer. Adam, thank you very much for your super chat. Adam Collier, does anyone know what Harvey Barnes' injury actually is? Seems super vague considering he's been out for a long time. Love the channel, lads. Well, he's on his way back, if you believe Instagram, so we'll have to wait and see. But Jimmy, more rumours on Callum today. It seems Newcastle want to ship him on.
Well, how, if you've read any of my tweets, you know how I feel about the transfer window. I don't believe anything. I don't think anyone really knows what's going on.
Yep.
A lot of people make a lot of money throwing rumors out there that just aren't true. Sky Sports, but if that were to happen, it's just like you're waving the white flag for the season, as far as I'm concerned. Just wait until the summer and where we will actually have money to spend. But until it happens, till somebody's getting a medical, I'm not going to believe it. But we seem to be the one to get all the headlines, and so we seem to be the media's favorite clickbait target at this moment.
Yeah. Billy, interesting what Callum Wilson had to say on his podcast, of course. He said that transfer window's open, anything can happen, and that's it. That's all he said. He didn't categorically deny anything, nor did he confirm anything, which he's not going to, really, is he? But it does seem that Newcastle United maybe shopping his name out there, or is it again just the media?
Well, if you believe what the media says, he's been offered out to West Ham, Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United. All these clubs are looking for a centre forward. So if you believe what you read in the press, then go with it. If not, then don't. I guess until we see the actual proof in the pudding, we can't really say a lot. I'd be amazed if we were to get rid of Callum Wilson, that we wouldn't have a replacement already lined up. Amazed.
Yeah. Yep.
He wouldn't have a medical.
No, probably not.
Well, I mean, that's the question, isn't it? He's been banded around for all these clubs, and I've looked at some of the comments from the opposition fans, and they're all saying who he's linked with. They're all saying, "Yeah, brilliant striker, but he's not fit." And the Man United fans are saying, he's just to them he would be another Anthony Martial. Decent player, but he's injured all the time. I think he's more clinical than Martial. Don't get me wrong, but. What's the point of bringing in an injury-prone player to replace another injury-prone player? It's crazy. Turpy says Callum not shutting down a move is a massive sign, don't you think? Normally players shoot that stuff right down. Well, I mean, he doesn't have to. He's not in any position to do anything like that. But it's interesting that the chairman's obviously back in the country. There looks like there's been various meetings going on today. So, whether we see anything come from that, I don't know. But anyway, before we get our first guest on, the link is pinned at the top of the chat. As usual, guys, if you do want to come on and spend a few minutes with the three of us chatting Newcastle United, what do you think of the transfer window? What do you think of the upcoming games against Fulham and Villa, of course? Let us know. The link is pinned. We've got 3 waiting, so there's plenty of spaces, guys. If you want to come on, you don't have to have your camera on. If you don't want to be on camera, you can just use your microphone for the audio. So click that link, get yourself in the queue, and we will get you on. First up tonight is Peter. Good evening.
Hello. All right.
How are you doing, bud?
All good.
Right. What do you want to discuss with us tonight then, Pete?
The game on Saturday.
Yeah. How do you see that going?
It's going to be very interesting. I'm down there as well. So
are you going? Are you?
Yes, I'm going. Hopefully I think we've got to go with a decent lineup.
Yeah.
I mean, it all depends. Fulham side lineup will be interesting as well, considering they've just come off the Carabao Cup as well. So, I mean, but we've got to go with a really strong side if you want to, because this is our only chance of winning something. Yeah.
I mean, Billy, do you think Fulham will feel like they're in that position as well? Knocked out the Carabao now. This is, obviously they are in the cup competition. That they're not going to get relegated. So is it the one chance that they're going to have to go for a cup similar to us?
No, 100%. No, the difference is Fulham won't be as hungry as us for an FA Cup. I wouldn't have thought they're not expected to win anything at the beginning of the season. We're not specifically, but certainly more than Fulham. But they are at home. Do they go into the shows? They played pretty well against Liverpool last night, to be fair to them. They weren't the best side, but they did battle on. It'll be interesting to see how they go tomorrow. But a lot of their players, of course, with minutes in the legs, maybe they'll be better for that after 2 weeks off. Maybe they won't be. We'll see. It's going to be a hard game for us. It's not going to be a walkover by any shadow of the imagination.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look, Pete, I don't know what you're making of all these rumours kicking around that are surfacing. It seems that some of the media just want to try and put pressure on our club and mention some players that maybe will leave or they won't. I mean, Miggy's situation seems to have died down. That looked a head-on move, as if he was going to be the first to go this window. Now it's all back on Callum again today. I mean, where do you stand on Callum? I mean, if we get rid of Callum, do we have somebody lined up? And if not, then I think we're in trouble if we let Wilson go.
Got to be, yeah. If you're going to sell Callum Wilson, you need someone in, don't you? Mm-hmm. I mean, absolutely, you do.
Where would he come from, though? Where do you think is it a loan deal, or do you think they've got somebody lined up on a permanent?
You never know. We don't know what's going on. That's the thing. It's hard to say, isn't it? It's like you've said, what is going on?
And of course, we get back into Premier League action on the following Tuesday. So there's big games coming up. But again, we haven't exactly got a massive squad going into these 2 games.
Well, no, we don't. We're still waiting on players to come back. We don't know who's going to be back for Fulham game or who's going to be back for Tuesday game. But Not going to be easy games. Definitely not. Villa will be the really hardest. We've got a really poor record down at Villa, and look where they are sitting at the table, as well. So that's going to be the really most challenging out of between Saturday and Tuesday.
Yeah. Ollie Khan says, thanks for the forum. Not a Newcastle fan, but thoroughly enjoyed the content and the guests. Thank you very much, Ollie. I wonder if that's Olivia Khan. Is that who used to play for Bayern Munich, Billy? The goalkeeper.
Many years ago.
Daquiri man says, greetings from Los Angeles. Stato, who just can't escape the Toon review. He's here today in the chat. Silver lining, if we sell Callum, we are 100% bringing in another forward. It's got to be. Nix, it seems like the plane watchers are close to meltdown with his flight from Paris for an Aramco private plane. Yeah, Aramco plane did land at Newcastle earlier on today. I mean, Pete, the chairman's over in the country. We know he is. There's meetings taking place. The castle has been, featured again on many social media posts. I mean, do you think it's a scheduled meeting, or do you think it's an emergency meeting to try and work around FFP and try and do something?
It could be either. It could be either. That's the thing we don't know. It could be any of the two.
Yeah. I mean, Jimmy, how does it look? How does it look to you, Jimmy, out in America? I mean, does it look like a shitstorm at the minute that needs sorting out?
Hopefully, he's meeting with some lawyers, some anti-competition. Maybe it's time to put our foot down, and especially since you've got this meeting coming up on the whole profitability. I can't say that damn word.
Profitability.
Thank you. That's American schooling for you. But I think it's time for us to take some action. I've always said that. A meeting this late in the window kind of seems a little emergency.
I thought that as well. I mean, I don't know whether he's in the country, whether he's scheduled to be here or not for the Fulham game and things like that. I guess the only thing is time will tell. Yogi, who, of course, is Jasmine, thank you for your 5 months of membership. I am worried about the league position. I honestly feel we could finish between 14th and 17th. We are 9 points off 17th place. Yeah, but at the same time, we're only 3 points off a European place. So I prefer to look at it the other way around.
Yes.
I mean, Pete, going into this game against Fulham, is it a question of a good cup run will then promote morale going into the Premier League? And if we keep a good cup run going, then obviously that will surely have a positive effect on the Premier League season, because we still only got the one game a week.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, if this is our only chance of winning something, why can't we go for this competition?
Yeah.
But of course, we don't have a lot of time for the Fulham game. We've only got 3 days after that. So,
well, exactly. But it's not like he's got a lot of
he doesn't
leeway to change things around. I mean,
no.
Billy's got to go full strength, hasn't he?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's got to be the best side he can put out.
Absolutely.
And again against Villa, really, on the Tuesday. Unless Callum Wilson doesn't move and can be ready for the Villa game, and maybe swap him for Isak, because I don't really fancy Isak getting himself injured by playing too much. That's the major one for me. Maybe if Harvey Barnes is near in return, maybe he'll get some time on the pitch from the substitutes bench at some point. Maybe Jacob Murphy too. But apart from that, there's not a lot to swap around. There's certainly not in midfield where we are really lacking in numbers.
No. Right then, Pete, what's your prediction first for the FA Cup game on Saturday, Fulham?
2-1 Newcastle, going down to Craven Cottage.
And at Villa Park?
Oh, Jesus. All depends who's fit and who's back.
It's not an easy one to predict, this one.
See, Fulham, I think they've dropped points a little bit of late, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the rest is coming at the right time for them.
They've been a little Jekyll.
Let's say 1-1 for Villa.
Okay. Right, well, I hope you're right, Pete. Enjoy Fulham on Saturday, buddy. And we'll speak to you soon.
Cheers, Pete.
No problem, take care.
And of course, Pete will be back with his football show tomorrow night at 8 o'clock on YouTube. So head to PD Proudlock at 8 o'clock after our match preview tomorrow night, and you'll have a good laugh on there. Guys, we've got 2 waiting. We've got loads of space tonight to get yourselves on. So click that link at the top of the chat. Come and have a talk with us about what you think's going to happen for the rest of the transfer window. The game's coming up. We want to know how you are feeling going into this weekend. So get on there, click that link, and come and join us. Jazz, thank you for your super chat. What do you think our chances are of finishing in a Europe position? I still think they're very good.
Yeah.
We've
got to play Arsenal away, Chelsea away, Man United away, but apart from that, the potential is for a nice run to the end of the season.
There is some nice games coming up, but again, there's never an easy game. Yogi or Jasmine, thank you for gifting a Toon Review membership. Very, very kind. I know you've gifted quite a few out. Mansell Hansel has been gifted that membership, so well done, Mansell. You have got a Toon Review membership for a month. Right, let's bring on Chippers. Good evening.
Hi, Sam.
Bonjour. Hello, you all right, all?
Not too bad, matey. What's on your mind tonight, then?
Where to start? It's like,
well, exactly, yeah. Where to start?
We'll see the clear one shit storm and another one comes if it's all to be believed. And one thing I will say is, though, if this is true for Callum Wilson, we are seeing £18 million and clubs are interested. If we do have a player lined up, then you've got to. Then I'm sorry, but you've got to take it for his injury record and for his age. For me, you signed him for 20 million, and so only losing £2 million on the player that was signed. Was it 5 years ago?
Well, some are actually quoting 30 million, Billy. That seems extortionate. I'd snap somebody's leg off for 30 million for Wilson.
Realistically, nobody in their right mind's paying that, so expect Eric Ten Hag to pay it. Chelsea could,
yeah. Well,
maybe Eric Ten Hag. Maybe he would. He's a bit of a lunatic, isn't he? So now he spent nearly $100 million on Anthony, for Christ's sake.
I think it would be absolutely unbelievable. I mean, we've obviously got somebody lined up, Chippers, but there's a lot going on in the background, it seems, at Newcastle at the minute.
Well, the word I would use is clusterfuck. It just seems like to us there's a lot going on, but to them there might not be anything going on. It might just be, all hearsay and everything like that, and to us it might seem the other way, but literally, obviously, we've seen Amanda's posted they've been up at Newcastle today, and they're obviously having that meeting. Whether it's deliberate, whether it's not deliberate, we don't know. I would like to think they're obviously discussing possibly sorting out a transfer or two.
The thing is, matey, and Jimmy made a good point before, is the timing of this meeting, right? Seems very strange because there's only literally 7 days left of the window or something like that. Does it end on the 31st or the 1st?
First.
It's 11:30 on the 1st.
7 days.
11 o'clock.
Yeah, 7 days tonight. Yeah.
11 o'clock on the 1st. That's my bloody birthday. Look, all day, Billy, all day. Look, it's going to be for me. Having a meeting like this at this stage in the window is very strange, because if they were going to have a transfer meeting, then surely that would have come earlier on in the month.
Well,
you think so? You think it would have been done in December, yeah?
Yeah. Go on, Jimmy.
As an American, we do like our conspiracy theories. What if the chairman's not in town for transfers, but finalizing Ashworth's out to Man United?
Or even the manager.
Billy, I'd probably say Ashworth.
Look, he could be here. He could be here because he's expecting a deal to go through, and he wants to be here to finalize.
For the fucking weather, I tell you.
Exactly, absolutely.
He might like the wind,
He might ride like the wind. Remember that song, Billy?
I do.
Yeah, that was a classic.
I'm saying he might like the wind, man. He might like the wind, never mind anything else. I mean, it's been quite windy,
he could, but at this stage, maybe it's here to oversee somebody coming in, and maybe it is loan deals from clubs that are owned by PIF, and he's there to negotiate with them from this end. Who knows? But it's got to be something. Eric, thank you very much for your super chat. He says, any news on Barnes or Willock return? Just what's on Instagram, mate. They both posted. What was interesting about Willock's was that he had dirty boots on, as if he'd been kicking a ball on the grass. So that was interesting. A few people picked up on that. Jazz, thank you for another super chat. If you could sign anyone in this window we've been linked to, who would it be?
Take one of a million. For me, it'd be Morgan Gibbs-White. I think he's a cracking player.
Well, see, Billy Alvarez said that, but I got absolutely the comments that we got after doing the morning show when the other day. Not many people are too happy with Gibbs-White coming.
The thing about Gibbs-White is,
step backwards.
If people watched the European Under-21s tournament last summer, the kind of link and the kind of kinetic kind of awareness that him and Gordon have between them, they're pretty good together. They seem to know where each other's going to be. So maybe he'd be a good signing for it. I know he'd be good.
Look how well he played against us as well. He ripped Dan Burn a new one when he played against us. So, and I mean, no offense to Mickey, but
he is a talent.
Yeah,
I like him.
No offense,
but I just don't think we can afford him.
Yeah, we probably can't. But FFP with Forest, though, if they're going to get punished more, then they might have to sell. So
that's an interesting point.
I look at it as
Woodback.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. Davey Brewers, thank you for your super chat, matey. Much appreciated. I mean, there's very interesting conversations going on all over the place about, what is happening, whose planes are landing where. Me and Dad's helicopter's been all over the place today.
The chairman's been in London a week as well.
Yes. I genuinely do think that something is happening behind the scenes. And whatever that is, we don't know. But, obviously we're just speculating here. We haven't got a frigging clue. Nobody's got an absolute Scooby-Doo about what's going on. Some may think they do, but they haven't. And the fact of the matter is, this is going to be a big 7 days for the rest of this season, Chippers.
It's going to be very big, because if we sign nobody between now and the end of the season, I'm going to be quite disappointed, if I'm being honest, because we've needed players in for this month. You can tell, even when players have come back from injury and suspensions, etc., we still needed a body or two in just to fill the gap at the end of the season. With Tonali not playing at all, we still need that gap. And if he keeps injured players in the likes of Joe Litton and Pope, who might not play again this season in the squad, that for me is bad. It shows that it's not good enough, that for me, because you're wasting a squad position that you could take out and you could have signed somebody for that position. So that would be annoying for me.
We'll go on the Chippers. What's going to happen Saturday and at Villa Park? Give us your predictions.
Well, I think we'll win 3-1 on Saturday, because I think with them playing last night, they put a lot of effort into that game. And playing Liverpool, you've got to play high intensity, and I think it might have took more out of them then. They think, and we've had 2 weeks of rest, and it looks like possibly Barnes or Willock could be back in the squad, which will be, I hate saying the Steve Bruce squad, but it's like a new signing that he said quite a lot when players came back from injury.
We've really missed Willock. We've really missed Joe Willock.
We're either going to get absolutely pummeled at Villa or we'll sneak a draw just with the way they're playing. But I've seen someone said that apparently Wilson's done a cryptic tweet that he might be going. That's like, it's a cryptic tweet, and people are.
I've seen
that's
that.
Not the way.
I don't know. Anyway, matey, by the time we do face the lads next week, we'll have played 2 games. The window will be over. So it'll be very, very interesting show next week. But thank you for joining us, matey. You take care.
Hey, see you next Friday.
Good night.
Yeah.
Right, we've got Lawrence coming on next. Then we've got Alan and we've got Pazman. I think Pazman's making his debut on the channel. But we still have some spaces, guys, if you wish to join us. Jazz, thank you for gifting a membership as well. That has gone to Paul Spragg. So thank you very, very much for that. Much appreciated, Jazz. And we've also got a super chat coming from Nick Thornton. Thank you, Nick. There's never a dull moment when you support this club. Ekitike on loan, gents. Not a Scooby-Doo's chance in hell.
On his way to Germany, isn't he?
Looks that way. Yeah, it does look like that way. Right. Lawrence, good evening.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Lawrence.
How are you doing?
All right.
Do you want to try and make sense of what's going on at Newcastle, or what you think is going on at the minute?
It's been a bit stressful, really, but thankfully looks like Trippier is staying. I mean, Trippier, Wilson, these are players I'm thinking keep them till the summer. and then maybe he's looked to move them on in the summer because they're both out of contract next year. And plus, Wilson's been here a long time, and he's quite injury prone. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't sell them if we got a bit ridiculous offer. But then we would need to replace them, especially Wilson. With Miggy, well, if we get a good offer, definitely. I don't mind him going, but again, we're going to need to look to replace him. But I mean, I'm hoping as long as if we don't sign anyone, that having less games and then having less bad luck with injuries will help us in the second half, because I've seen the stuff from Willock and Barnsley. I'm actually more happy for Willock coming back because I think midfield is where we need to strengthen. Because he'll give us more of what we've been missing. Without Joe Linton. In terms of the Wilson cryptic post on Instagram, well, basically, I think was it a storm or tornado emoji and then a time emoji. He's had some photos of him in training, in Dubai. There was a quote, "Don't compare your life to others." And then there was a video of him at the gym.
Yeah, it's all weird. It's all very weird and cryptic, Billy, isn't it? And I think, this is what creates a lot of conversation, whether it be good or bad, because there's so many cryptic things going around the bloody place at the minute. You just don't know what to think, what to believe. Players are putting cryptic messages on social media, never mind fans and in the nose. There's so there's so much shit going on. But I guess, Billy, the next 7 days, we will find out exactly what has gone on or is going on, hopefully.
Yeah, everything comes out in the wash eventually, isn't it? This time next week, we'll be much more aware of what is going on. And if we have got players in or players have gone out, we'll know, won't we? But until February the 2nd, we're still going to be in the dark, aren't we? So we've got another 7 days of this to go through, really.
The chances are, the real chances are that we don't sign anybody, Jimmy, and basically they're getting together today to work out the plan for the rest of the season, the summer coming up, and, of course, what they would say to the supporters.
Well, judging by some of their actions so far this season, the supporters are the ones that get the shaft. And you brought up, if you are going to sell, and if the intention is to sell Wilson and Miggy, and you might as well do it now to maximize your profit, because if you wait until the summer, you're gonna have to take a cut rate price. Everyone knows people overpay during this window. I'd hate to see it, especially with somebody like Miggy who leads our line on the press. Who's gonna do that without getting injured?
I mean, this is the thing. We can't be threadbare going into the rest of the season, Lawrence. We need to be, we need players available, and it's a massive worry, isn't it? If we don't sign anybody, how threadbare we're going to be. I know we got players coming back, and I said this the other day on a show that it's all right, those players coming in and coming back from injury, but they've got to get fit. Then they've got to get match fit again, which takes time.
Yeah, that could be a worry as well.
Go on, Lawrence.
Oh, yeah. But I did see the meeting talk about Amanda Stavely was there as well.
Yeah. Well, she was at the
thing
meeting.
Is, it sends out the wrong message to the players we've already got at the club, the big names. If we're selling players and not bringing anyone in, it shows a complete lack of ambition. So they have to replace whoever we sell. Otherwise, come the summertime, Bruno's going to be knocking the door down, Joe Linton's going to be knocking the door down, Sven Botman's going to be knocking the door down, Alexander Isak's going to be banging the door down. Yeah. You've got to stay ambitious and to keep these kind of players on board. Otherwise, we're going to end up with a load of expensive sales and no one's coming.
Lawrence, what's your predictions then for the Fulham game and the Villa game?
For Fulham, I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. But then we'll beat them in the replay to St James's. For Villa, we'll probably lose that, given our record at Villa Park and how they're doing this season. But then again, the only Sheffield United got a draw there, nearly won. Burnley nearly got a point with 10 men. So that does give us a bit of hope. But suppose we'll also have to see how Villa get on against Chelsea tomorrow night, which will not be an easy game for them.
Mm-hmm. Might suit them that they're playing a day before us, though. But
yeah,
we'll see. Right, Lawrence, thanks for coming on, matey. Enjoy the games, and hopefully we'll get a couple of wins. Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
So that was Lawrence. We've got Alan coming on next, and then Pazman, and then there's nobody, guys. So we've still got spaces available if you want to join us. Let's have a look. If Gibbs White is 40 million, then all day long sign him. 40 million. I mean, I've just seen
got 40 million to spend.
Well, yeah. There's a super chat came in from Jazz. Thank you, Jazz. Would you take 15 million for Trippier if Eddie Howe would play Kraft right back and Tino left back?
Didn't you have to do that, does he? You could play Tino right back and that's the end of it. Or you could play, if you wanted to replace
Burn would just continue at left back. Yeah, but he's still got options.
I'd take 15 million for Trippier, personally.
Yeah. I think if Bayern had made a last bid of whatever the euros is that works out at 15 million, I think they would have took that, Billy.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think so as well. Yeah. And I think Kieran Trippier would have been keen to go as well.
Yeah, I do as well. But I mean, where do you think Trippier's head's going to be at, Jimmy? Because has he had his head turned, and how does he come back? I mean, obviously he's a professional, and he's got his head screwed on. But how much of that will affect him if the move is off like we seem to have at the minute?
Well, it depends on what head he's thinking with, but it's hard. It's hard when you have a club like Bayern sniffing around.
Yeah.
I really think he would have wanted that move. He's not going to come out and say it. But I think his heart was set on that move.
Yeah, I agree as well. Guys, over here. Sorry, Jimmy, go on.
Even though looks like, when he would go to them at a time when looks like they're going to get second place, they're not going to win anything. Yeah, interesting. Guys, over 800 watching. Thank you very much. Please do subscribe if you are new, bottom right-hand corner. And, of course, you can keep those super chats coming in if you do so wish to donate to the channel by hitting that $sign. And you will get your comment read. Definitely get your comment read out, shall we say. Right, let's bring our next guest on. We got Alan. Good evening, buddy.
Hey, guys. How are we doing?
Hi, Alan.
Well, we're just trying to make sense of everything, Alan. And I suppose you're doing the same. Exactly.
Hey, before I start, Paul, I just want to say I hope your daughter's doing a lot better.
Thank you, mate. It's day-to-day. It's a day-to-day battle, but we will get her the help. Thank you for that.
So I'll tell you how I'm feeling.
Go on, then.
I'm staying away from social media because it's just all over the place. There's no truth in anything. Mm-hmm. But what I do feel is that the only people who know what's going on are the people at the top. Yeah. And I fully trust. I think they're just playing their cards close to their chest. Mm-hmm. And whether we sign someone or not, they know what's going on. And you can guess all you want. You can speculate. But, it'll happen if it happens.
Do you think we're going to bring somebody in, Alan? Because, I think that's quite more important to me than who goes, to be honest. I want to see players coming in.
I think we all do. But at the end of the day, we basically got the team that got us in the Champions League last year. And it's not through lack of players. It's because we got injured players. That's preventing us doing better. And I do think I'm a strong believer that our poor form's been down to basically players being overplayed. Yeah. And I think this weekend, it's going to be really telling. Because now we've had that rest. Now players are coming back. They're fresh physically and mentally, hopefully. And I think that's going to be basically a litmus test of where we stand at the minute and how the rest of the season is going to go.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it, Billy? We can't use this weekend. We can't use the word fatigue because we've had a really good rest, 2 weeks off. There is no no excuses for. Yes, we've got injuries, fine, but the players that are available have had a rest. They're ready to go again. We've seen various social media, posts from the players saying, "Oh, great rest, ready to go." All of this kind of crap. They've got to do it on the pitch now.
100%. Alan's 100% right in what he says. It's been a massive reset for us the past 2 weeks. Time to get all the cobwebs cleared off the brains, all the cobwebs cleared from the muscles and the joints, and be fully fit for the next kind of half of the season. And it's a massive kind of period of time for us now. We need to get on the table. We need to progress in the cup. And if we're fully fit, I'd back us against anybody, really.
Mm-hmm. And I've got to say too that as long as no one leaves, I'm happy even if we don't sign anybody, as long as players start coming back in the team and back on the bench, so we have options to give players a rest and change the tactics, which we haven't had.
Yeah,
I think we're short in midfield, though, aren't we, Alan? We've lost Toon Army, we've lost Joe Litton. They're both out of the season, so we are short.
Yeah, but we still got. I don't know when Anderson's coming back. It's not reported. No time soon. No one knows.
Yeah.
But if we get Willock back, and who else we got?
Harvey Barnes
in the middle of the park. That's bad in the middle of the park.
Yeah, that's true.
We've got 4 players.
We've got Lewis Hall can play in the middle too.
And let's not forget.
Well,
absolutely, and let's not forget we could have a suspension for Bruno coming up as well, a 2-game suspension, which will happen in the near future as well. So we've obviously got that to worry about. Where do you stand on Callum, Alan? Do you think the club have got him in the shop window, or is it just again mirrors? Smoke and mirrors. I don't know.
I'm wondering if they're putting players in the shop window, maybe not for now, but to see what interest there is for the summer, so they can plan the replacements. Interesting. But the other thing I was going to say there, I wonder, reading between the lines, and again, this is all speculation, and they're signing Alfie Harrison. Alfie Harrison. Yeah. I wonder if he's been signed because they said the reason we got him was because there's a clear path to first team football. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering whether I think, he may go on the bench.
Well,
we short midfielders.
Yeah. That we did say that the other day, Billy. Is he coming in to, be part of the first team plans? We know he's trained with the Manchester City first team squad. Mm-hmm. We've seen various photos of that happening. So maybe this kid is good enough. Hopefully we'll see that he'll get some game time, and then maybe we're all thinking, "Oh my God, we've got no players," and then we get a young'un like him coming through and being another Miley, just stepping in and being ready to go.
Well, if you're old enough, you're good enough. You're old enough, aren't you? Simple as that. Mm-hmm. I think if he's got the potential to do it now, then I think Eddie Howe will put him straight in. I think he'll be on the bench and give him 15, 20 minutes, see how he copes with it. And if he does cope with it, then you might see him start games.
How old is Livermento? Is Livermento 19 now?
20.
I think he's 20. I think he's 20. Yeah.
Still, we got Lewis Miley, who's 17.
Yep.
We got Livermento. So, hey, this may be a young kid, but it's a young kid, along the same lines, same age group. So nothing to say he couldn't perform.
Yeah, exactly. And but I still think we need some experience in there as well.
Yeah, I agree.
But it just seems very, very strange goings on at the minute. Gary says, I can't understand the questioning of the owners. They have a plan and a vision and are big time when they work. Wanting it all now is just naive by people. It's an interesting comment, Gary. But what I would say to that is, I don't think any proper supporter of Newcastle United is having to go at the owners. Not a chance in hell. But what we do want to see is just covering the tracks a little bit. Yes, we've got a long-term plan, but in the short term, we need a plan now because of the injury crisis and the lack of players we have available. Because if we want to attract the bigger players, we have to be in the European competitions. It's as simple as that.
I think people have been blinded by what happened last season. I think the fact we finished Champions League last season has raised people's levels of expectation to maybe a little bit too high this season. Yeah. Had we finished in the Europa League last season, this season we're competing to get there. Maybe that's the reason, we wouldn't have been so or fans wouldn't have been so anti kind of owners at the moment, would they? If they're not really anti, but questioning them, let's say.
Yeah.
And I think what people have to keep in just remembering is that it's not, when you want to sign a player, it's not like going down to the supermarket and pick one off the shelf. The player has to be available. They have to fit what Eddie Howe wants.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be the right price, and they have to want to come to Newcastle. So unless all those fall into place, they're not going to come.
Interesting question from Carlisle Tuna. Do you think Eddie needs to improve in his game management in the second half of the season? Jimmy, what do you reckon?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see a plan B, plan C, plan D. Just keep going down the alphabet if things aren't going well.
Mm. I mean, sometimes though to do that we need players available, but he can change a few things, can't he, Alan? He can sort of maybe change the formation a little bit just to try something, I guess, if things aren't working.
Yeah, the problem is though, when you've got ingrained in the players to play one way, then there's a risk if you then change that. If we're successful pressing on the front foot and then we start playing more defensive or play 5 at the back or whatever, there's a risk.
The problem for me is, and we saw it against Everton and we saw it against Bournemouth away as well, was changing things too often, panicking, being in panic mode. We saw it at Everton where he put Gordon through the number 9 position.
Yeah, changing it for 5-10 minutes.
We were getting results from it. Gordon had 2 chances, missed them. Then he changed it back again, and he changed it to another. Yeah, he panicked sometimes. I feel.
I think with the Gordon thing in the last game where he switched with Isak, wasn't it the last game?
He did it at Everton, though, and it was working. And then he changed it back straight away. Didn't make any sense.
Well, the reason he did it last game was Gordon was knackered. He couldn't run up and down the wing and defend, get back.
Well,
I think that's why he switched with Isak.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to seeing Anthony Gordon this weekend after 2 weeks off, and hopefully his back was flying best. What's your predictions, then, Alan, for Fulham and Villa?
Well, my heart says for Fulham, I think that we're fresher than them for once. So I think we'll win 3-1. Okay,
and what about Villa?
Villa, I said at the start of the season, I think we can penetrate because I have such a high back line. I think with the speed of Gordon and Isak and Miggy, we can penetrate that. And it worked the first game, so I'm going for a 1-1.
Well, let's hope you're right. Alan, been a pleasure as usual, mate. You take care and we'll see you next time.
Cheers, Alan.
Oh, yeah. Bye for now, guys.
Yeah.
So that was Alan. We got another super chat in from Jazz. Thank you, Jazz. Final question from me. Would you take 20 to 25 million for Longstaff if we put him up for sale? Love this channel. Always brightens up my day. Thanks, lads. Yes. Jimmy?
Higher for me.
Higher? Yes. You'd want more money?
At least 30. At least 30.
Interesting. Mats, thank you for being a member for exactly a year. Thank you so much for your support. Evening, guys. Do you think we change transfer policy if we're losing on Saturday? May just take the loss and plan for the summer instead.
Sending out the wrong message, I think.
Yeah, I do as well. I think it's sending out completely the wrong message. I don't subscribe to all this, writing the season off, because I think that's the last thing we need to do as a club is write the season off, because we're going to end up in so much crap, because we could end up 14th in the league, no Europe next season, and obviously that I'll keep banging on about it. Being in Europe attracts the better players. Obviously the Champions League you would attract the elite, but then the next, if you're still playing in Europe, because I know the Europa League's not very well thought of maybe in the UK, but across Europe, it's still a massive European competition. You've seen how the fans reacted to the Europa League. So the players will feel the same. They want to play European football. I just think you get a better standard of player if you're in a European competition. I really do. And I think it's a big mistake writing the season off.
I think if we write the season off, you can wave goodbye to Bruno, Alexander Isak, Botman, all those players in the summer.
Absolutely, because we couldn't hold on to them. If big teams come knocking, European teams come knocking, and we're not in Europe next year, they're going to have to wait another year on their careers to get into Europe again. I don't think they're going to want to do that at the stage those guys are at the moment in their career. I think it's a massive call. That's why I think the next 7 days of this window are absolutely huge for the club. I really do. And I'd be disappointed if we don't bring a couple of players in, even on loan, just so we've got that security of a decent squad. Because we can't, what's saying these players are going to come back and break down again? Look how many times these players have come back and broken down again. You can't take the risk.
Yeah,
it's just it's frightening.
Plus, we're constantly told that the Saudi mentality is they want to be number one. I really can't see their owners kind of okaying us to kind of write the season off. Really can't.
Yeah. Guys, we've got Pazman coming on next, and then there's nobody else awaiting. So if you want to get on at the end of the show, click that link at the top of the chat and come and join us.
Don't need a camera, by the way. You can come on without a camera.
Exactly. Get yourself on without the camera. You don't need to be on camera. You just have your microphone, and that is fine with us as well. So we've got a space, probably 1 or 2 left if you want to jump on. But anyway, Pazman makes his debut. Good evening to the Pazman.
Good evening, fun seekers.
How are you?
I'm absolutely well. I've spent the last week avoiding everything, and I know that's a little bit bad. I've just gone. I just don't want to know, because we'll see what happens. It's just crazy, but I don't think we're seeing it for the bigger picture.
Go on.
There is a plan, but. And obviously, there's a lot of social media that's going on that's this and it's that and it's the other and I've had to go. Do you know what? I'll wait and see what happens. We shall see next week. I'm sure there is a plan that we're not seeing, a bigger plan. It doesn't involve Jesus or anything like that.
But I wish it would at times. But I mean,
no. I think there's a bigger picture. Excuse me.
What do you make of the meeting? The meetings that are taking place today. Do you think they're scheduled, or do you think they were, because of the lack of anything really happening, they've decided to get their heads together to try and make something happen?
We shall see. I don't want to speculate because I've seen so many YouTube channels go, oh, this is happening, and it's not happened.
Yeah, we don't do that, though.
I know you don't, and this is why I watch your channel, because about 4 months ago, I mean, it's been a lot of years out of it. I lived abroad for a few years, and I had a bar, and I used to follow Newcastle United since my sister took me years and years ago to St James's Park, and always followed Newcastle United, but I kind of went, oh, maybe football's not my thing, and then and I played ice hockey as well, which is where the link is actually.
All right, okay.
I played for Humberside.
All right, yep.
So I think you're probably a little bit younger than me.
I think so.
No, he's probably not.
No,
Hey! Hey!
How very dare you? Yeah, so
I am officially offended. Honestly, I don't know why I get these people on to host with me, because they're just absolute bar stewards to me all the time.
Yeah.
But anyway, carry on.
So I've kind of gone, well, we'll see what happens. And now I'm like, right, we'll see what happens on Saturday.
It's all we can do, isn't it? I mean, we can talk about it, we can speculate, we can say, but I mean, that's what we do. I mean, that's what football's all about at the end of the day. It's about having conversations and discussions with everybody about what's going on. But, at the end of the day, we will never be right. We will never be right. We will never be wrong. It's simply a conversation on here. And that's why we as a channel don't make fools of ourselves by saying such and such is having a medical, such and such has gone for a feckin' barbecue, all of that crap. We can talk about what's in the news, but that's not to say that what's in the news is real, but it's still a discussion. That's what football's all about, is discussions.
I really do think it is. And I think I lost it for a while. Not lost it, but kind of lost football for a while, because it was just like, oh, I've got so much going on in my life. And then about 4 months ago, okay. And then started watching you guys. I went, oh, these are good. What you do is absolutely fantastic for Newcastle United, but also for football. And I was like, all right, that's really cool. And I absolutely blew me away with the commentary. So I've got this on this screen, I've got that on that screen, and went, all right, switch that off, put them on. And
you want to see what I sit in front of? It's like freaking NASA.
Running 2 screens, and I mean, I've got matchday live that we do. It's busy stuff. I've got about 5 screens, and it's like I'm sort of all. But absolutely great. When are you going to get Billy an SM7V instead of whatever's hanging from his face?
It's not what's hanging from his face. He's got a microphone. He's got a what is it you've got, Billy?
Blue Yeti.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I thought this was just like, I'm just going to use this. Oh, it's that.
No, he's not Madonna, you know. I know. You know.
I thought he was.
I do have triangular tits.
The coat. No, stop that.
Almighty.
But no.
Anyway, what do you think?
No, really.
What's your predictions for Saturday and Tuesday then?
I'm going 2-1. I'm going 2-1.
Okay.
And we shall see.
Well,
and I think there's a going back to the beginning. Completely agreed with Alan. I think there's a bigger picture that we shall see.
Okay. Well, hopefully you're right.
But they know more than we do, and
exactly.
That's all I can say.
Well, very good to have you on. Hopefully you'll jump on again. It's nice to speak to you, and hopefully we'll get 2 wins over the next couple of games. But take care, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Padman.
No worries, man.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Right, we've got Davey on next, and then we've got Peter to round off the show. So they are the final guests of the evening. So we will bring Davey on now. I see that's a lovely haircut you got there, Brewis.
I've just been in the shower, boss. Hence the pajamas.
Well, hey, I didn't even realize there were pajamas, mate. Who gives a damn anyway? Right, what's your thoughts then?
I haven't really got much to talk about, really. I just coming on to fill some spaces. No.
What's going on at the minute? You've got nothing to talk about.
No, I'm just looking forward to Saturday. Been a long way for a game of football, hasn't it?
Oh God! I mean, I hate international breaks at the best of times, and I know we've got another one coming up in February. But this break has been, it's been nonsense because
come at the right time.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. I mean, we're still not out of the woods yet when it comes to injuries. But what have you made of all this rigmarole over the last 3 or 4 days about sort of Miggy and Trippier and now Callum?
The last call, the one before last, made a good point. I think I actually agreed with him when he said, I think we're just putting them in the shop window for the summer. I didn't think we actually want to let anybody leave because it's too late in the window now to be letting anybody leave, because if you want to be signing big players take days and days to complete deals.
Yeah.
So I can't see anybody leaving, if I'm honest, at all.
I mean,
no.
The meetings have taken place, haven't they, today? And you kind of think, you're seeing, the chairman in London, then he's up in the castle again, and mate dad's flying all over the place. You just get that feeling that either they've got something planned, something is going ahead as normal, and this meeting was planned as normal. But on the flip side of that, you're worried because maybe it's all like, oh Christ, we need to get our heads together because we've got to do something here, because maybe Eddie has made a point that, we're going to struggle for the rest of the season if we don't do something.
I think Harvey Barnes is due back. I think Joe Willock's due back, but I think Joe Willock. Remember that last? But the problem will still persist that we still will need a number 6. Even with all the players back, we still have the same problem.
Well, I mean, we've definitely missed Willock. There's absolutely no doubt about it. We've missed his driving force, and I think, Billy, when we talk about Willock, we mentioned it sometimes that he's quite an interesting character, because sometimes he seems like he's not bothered, but then he gets the ball and he's a wizard with it.
I think he's the best carrier of the ball we've got in our team.
He's got it's the only one in the midfield who's got serious pace about him, hasn't he? He drives forward with that ball at his feet with pace. Mm-hmm. He's got an eye for a pass. He's a great finisher. He also gets back and helps defensively. Yeah, he's been a massive miss. He really has. Mm-hmm. Just to go back to David's point about the number 6, Eddie Howe doesn't believe we need a number 6. He said at the beginning of the season we've got 3 6s. He says Longstaff, Toon Army, and Bruno are all 6s, and 2 of those are still there. So,
I disagree with that.
I disagree with it totally. But
I totally do as well. Yeah,
I wouldn't mind seeing a 4-2-3-1. They're double pivot.
Yeah.
Two 6 types together.
Yeah.
Well, funny you should mention that because we've got the players to do it. We've got the players to play that formation. And in a way, he could put Miggy as a number 10 and see what he's like in that position. Everyone's been crying out, saying, can you remember a couple of seasons ago, people were saying, put Miggy as a 10. He plays there for Paraguay, etc. But he doesn't. He doesn't play as a number 10 for Paraguay. But people seem to have this thing of a number 10 in it. But we've got a couple of players there who could play the number 10. But Eddie seems set on this 4-3-3, and that's it. And he won't change it.
How do you think our forward line's going to look next season if we buy, say, one sort of out-and-out striker, like a big multi-million-pound striker? I wouldn't mind seeing Isaac go on the left and Gordon on the right and get someone who can score 20, 25 goals up top up through the middle,
Yeah.
Everyone's looking.
I think Isaac future at the club's going to be on the top left. I really do.
Yeah. Macam Cabby says, do you miss Maximum? No.
Yes.
Moving on. No. Billy, be quiet. You don't mean that at all.
I do. What do we do miss him?
No, you don't.
I've changed my
We could have
mind.
used him lots of times this season. Lots of times.
He wouldn't have been fit. If we've got an injury crisis now,
That's
you can guarantee
hypothetical.
that Maxi would have been one of them.
You don't know that, do you?
Well, he
There
fit
wouldn't
in
have been
quite
any more bandages for the rest of them.
They could have peeled him off him and given him the rest of them, couldn't they?
Oh, damn, I'm not having it.
Oh, Paul,
Anyway.
that photo's a belter, isn't it?
You what?
That photo.
Where's Alex?
Oh, cracker.
Where's
Absolutely.
Alex?
Thank you for that.
I-
I've got one up on my wall, mate.
Somebody will be well pleased. I'm debating whether to put that as a prize or have it in my studio, but we'll see. We'll see.
Get it up yourself, keep it.
I'm thinking of it. Anyway, what's your predictions, Davey, for Saturday and Tuesday?
I think we'll come out all guns blazing, and I think a 2 weeks rest will do as well. I think a team like us needs that sort of rest. 2-0 to us. I think we're going to beat Villa as well on next week as well.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, very confidently said. Well, listen, I hope you're right, matey. I'll let you get back to drying your hair. Thank you for coming on, and I'll speak to you soon, buddy.
Right, all right, mate. See you, lads.
Yeah.
Davey's just up the road from me, actually. He's not far from me at all. Go on, Jimmy.
The hairdos, I don't know. A little bit of the cold Palmer.
Says the man wearing a hat.
I'm bald now, so.
Well, yeah.
You're just fighting.
Listen, I'm admitting I don't have hair to grow now. Well, I do, but it just in very small amounts. Tom says Billy's transforming into Stato with his Maxi Löw. Derek, good evening to you. Late, so might be repeating, but it took us an hour to score against Fulham, down to 10 men after 20 minutes, and not until Dubes had made 2 good saves. It's a very, very good point. It's not the easy game that we would hope it had been. Right, final guest for this evening is Peter. Good evening, Peter.
Good evening, gents. How are you?
Not too bad. What would you like to say tonight?
Well, I live in London.
Yeah.
And I don't hear very much news down here about what's happening up there. I'm a bit worried that we might not buy any players.
Yeah.
In next week.
So do you think that will be a problem, even though we've got players coming back for injury? Do you think that'll be a problem if we don't have...
You need backup, man. You need backup.
Yeah. I agree. We do, Jimmy, don't we? We need the backup.
Yes. I mean, like I said, if no one signed in the white flag, at least one person that could slot in for 20 minutes at the end of a game.
Yeah. It's just it's crazy because Billy, we want those players and we want we said it in the summer, didn't we? We want players of quality. So we've got quality replacing quality, which obviously we haven't managed to have much this season because we haven't had the players available.
No, but again, it's down to them three letters again, isn't it? It's FFP that's hindering us and hampering us, and that's what it's there for, in my opinion, just to stop us and other clubs like us from progressing and penetrating the top six. Mm-hmm. We need 2 or 3 players. We definitely need a midfield player. We definitely need a striker. We probably need the right winger as well.
Yeah,
we have got the money to do that. So to get the money to do that, we're gonna have to sell somebody. It's simple as that. If we don't sell, we won't buy it.
I would like to see Longstaff go and try and hijack Phillips from Man City.
Well, it looks like the medical's done at West Ham, so it's just a matter of time now, I think, before they announce it, which is really it pees me off, because Phillips, Billy, is a player that we should have gone for. I really do believe, but then again, we haven't had the money.
If we can't afford to pay a £5 million or £7 million loan fee, then that tells you everything, doesn't it? Without selling players, we're not going to be buying anybody. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, it's disappointing. But anyway, Peter, how are you feeling about the games coming up? Obviously, Fulham on Saturday, difficult game in the Cup, and then away at Villa Park on Tuesday.
I fancy our chances at Fulham.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 2-1. And the Villa, I'm going to say it's going to be a score draw.
Score draw.
2-2.
Listen, I'd take that now, to be honest, the way our Premier League form is. I'd take a point at Villa Park. Mind you, Villa have been a bit ropey the last few games, so you just never know, do you? We may get something out of it. But before you go, Peter, just a prediction. Are you... will Callum Wilson be a Newcastle player at the end of the window?
I don't think so. I think the chairman's got someone in mind, and they'll get rid of Wilson and they'll bring someone else in.
Interesting.
Who is? I don't know. But
that's the question, isn't it? Who may it be? But Peter, thank you very much for joining us tonight. You take care. Speak soon.
Good
night, bud. Good night. And we got a final super chat in from Jazz again. Thank you, Jazz. Really kind. What I'm really excited about this season is the Lasses team going professional. I spent a few years playing with a girl who's on the Lasses team now. I never thought it was possible for women to be professional footballers when I was a kid. They're doing absolutely superbly. Obviously, a little bit of a hiccup against Forest on Sunday at home. But you know what? It's the first defeat in the league in God knows how long. They will bounce back. And, I think sometimes, Billy, it actually helps losing the odd game just to keep you... realistic about everything, that you can be beaten.
Yeah, when you win such a long time, sometimes you forget how shit it is to feel like when you lose. And now they've got that feeling, and they won't want to feel that again, hopefully, and they can progress and carry on and get themselves promoted.
Absolutely. Right, that is it for Face the Lads tonight, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Over 800 for Fan Forum tonight, which is incredible. Thank you again. For all your support. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. Thanks to the super chatters and, of course, new members of the channel. Mods, thank you very much. Billy, Jimmy, it's been a pleasure. But again, thank you to everybody out there for joining us tonight. I'll be back at 11:30 in the morning, half an hour later, 11:30 for the press conference reaction video. We'll go live and see what your thoughts are on what's been said by Eddie Howe. And, of course, we'll be back tomorrow night at 7 o'clock with the match preview for the Fulham game. But in the meantime, guys, enjoy the rest of your Thursday night. Good night.
How are the lads and lasses?
Come back and check out some breathe.